Today is December 7th, 2004. We are at the home of Mr. MacArthur on South Road in Marlboro. MacArthur Road in Marlboro. Today's interview crew is Alex Hunter on audio recorder, Starcy Grout on video camera, Margaret Bernhardt on still camera, and this is Liza Hardy, interviewer. I'd like to ask you a few questions about your background.
About what?
Your background.
Oh, okay.
Have you always lived in Marlboro, or did you move here from somewhere else?
We moved here from somewhere else. We moved here from Newfane in 1951. That was a long time ago.
What was the reason you moved to Marlboro?
Because I've been teaching at Marlboro College since 1948, and Marlboro was a lot closer. The college is right here, and this place, we found this house for sale, and we decided we wanted it, so we moved. That's the thing to do, I guess.
So how many years have you lived in town?
In town here? Let's see, 1951, that would be 53 years.
How would you describe yourself when you were a child?
Oh dear. That's a hard one. I know one of the things I know is that I was always curious, always asking questions. I knew from the time I was in grade school that I wanted to be a physicist, and I turned out to be one. Let's see. I was a moderately good student, not an excellent student. I didn't enjoy sports. Is that enough information?
Yeah.
Okay.
May I ask how old you are now?
How old? I'm 82.
From what college did you graduate?
I graduated from the University of Toronto in Canada. And then I went to the University of Chicago for 2 years, but didn't get a degree. And then I went to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy and got a PhD.
How many years did it take you to become a professor?
Well, let's see, that would be the answer, wouldn't it? I started, well, I don't know what you mean, from the beginning of grade school, or from beginning where?
From the beginning of the college.
Oh, okay. Well, it took me 4 years in college, and 2 years at Chicago is 6, and 4 more took me 10 years.
In what year did you begin teaching at the college?
I began teaching there in 1948.
What course did you teach?
What courses? I taught, well, I'm a physicist. I taught physics, but I've also always been interested in astronomy, so I taught that too. So I taught those two things, physics and astronomy.
Do you still teach any classes at the college?
I still do. I teach one course. Of course, I'm pretty much retired now, and there's another person teaching physics and astronomy. So I'm teaching about climate, teaching about global warming, and I still do that. I teach one course in the fall now, and then take the spring off. That's a pretty good schedule.
Which of those courses that you taught did you like best?
Which did I like the best? Oh, that's a hard one too, because I liked them both, all of them, that is. But I'm a physicist. What I really liked was trying to help people understand how things work, how the world works. And I called my physics course the physics of the world we live in, so people would try to understand how things work.
Who had your job before you began?
What job did I have? Well, I was in the Navy. See, I didn't have any other job really before I came to Marlboro and started teaching at the college. So I've been teaching at Marlboro College now for whatever that is, 56 years. And before that, as I said, I was in the Navy, so I guess that's a job.
Who took over your position after you retired?
Sorry, who took it? Jim Mahoney took it for a while, and then he moved into something else, more into computers, and they got a man named Travis Norson to take the job. So he's the one who's teaching physics and astronomy now.
What made you want to become a professor?
I've always enjoyed teaching. I found out a long, long time ago that I was good at explaining things to people. And people began asking me questions and, you know, how does this work, or why is that? So, and I just found myself teaching. Almost everything I do, I find myself teaching or explaining things. I just like it. I like doing it.
What are some of the reasons you accepted the job at the college?
Oh, that's easy. Because I could live here. I like Vermont. I've been coming to Vermont. But we're not from Vermont. I was from, well, I was really brought up in Toronto. So I began coming to Vermont in 1928. That's a long time ago. And decided I really liked it here. So all of a sudden here was a job that I thought I could like, at a college that I thought I could enjoy, and in a place that I would love. That's a good enough set of reasons.
Had you applied for a teaching job anywhere else?
No. No, in fact, the man who was president of Marlboro College at that time, Walter Hendricks, heard that I was studying physics at the University of Chicago, and he came and found me and asked me if I would come here and teach physics. So I didn't have to ask for the job. He asked me if I would do it.
What was it about the job that kept you interested in teaching for as long as you did?
The young people that I had to work with, the students. I like students. I like young people. And I found it a stimulating thing to do. The students were often interested. Many times they were really good students, and I could help them.
What are some of the things about Marlboro College that you feel are unique?
Are unique? Well, the main thing that's unique, well, a couple of things about it. Of course, one is its location. There's no other college like it anywhere nearby. There's no other college like it. It's its small size that really makes it much different from most other colleges. And that's what I like, because you get to know everybody. It's like one great big family. Not always happy, but a big family.
Do you have a favorite research topic you could explain a little about?
A research topic? Oh dear. I haven't done an awful lot of research because I've spent almost all my time teaching. I did do a little bit of research once, quite a few years ago, when I had an apparatus that would pick up, well, they were actually electromagnetic signals from space and turn them into something that you could hear. And it sounded like birds chirping or something like that. And I spent a year and a half or so with that apparatus running here at his house, listening to those sounds, and finally decided, just sort of got bored with it. I don't know whether that's enough of an explanation or not. These are what they call ultra-low frequency electromagnetic waves. And what it means is that if you convert them into sound waves, they're a frequency that you can hear. So they sound like birds. And I've always liked birds. Birds are my favorite hobby.
Who would you say has influenced you in your professional life, and in what ways have they influenced?
In my professional life, I guess the ones who influenced me the most have been the teachers that I've had. Some of them have been very, very good. the one that I think immediately of is Enrico Fermi, a well-known, famous in fact, physicist. But there have been many. I've had lots and lots of. Of course, I went to school studying physics for 10 years or more. So I've had a lot of teachers, and some of them have been very good. I just mentioned one. I don't really need more than one or not, but I remember him very clearly.
Would you please describe a typical day at work?
Well, you mean now or at the beginning when I was working full time?
Whichever one.
Well, all right. I better describe what it was like years ago, because I don't have much work to do these days. I just teach one course, which means I go over there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, and that's all. So that isn't quite fair. But when I was teaching full time, of course, I spent all day, every day over there at the college, and I would have maybe 4 classes each day. Not always the same ones, of course, but different ones and with different students. You must know what it's like you know what teachers do. That's what I was doing. Of course, in the sciences, a good part of really understanding the sciences is to do it with your hands, make it actually happen. So, and in physics, that's easy, and to me, it's fun. So you have a lab, and frequently I would have lab work over there where the students would play with toys. They have little machines that work in various ways and demonstrate various of the ideas in physics. And being interested in astronomy, of course, I built a little observatory. It's still over there. And the students would come and we'd look at astronomical things, the moon and the stars and such things. So that's, I don't know, that's a pretty brief description of a simple day. At a place like, well, almost any college, I guess. I was going to say Marlboro, but it's true of almost any college. The teachers also have committee work and faculty meetings and things which are boring, but I guess you have to do it. I mean, the faculty, the collection of all the teachers are called the faculty, and they have to make decisions, and they have to do it in such a way that everybody agrees. So you have to discuss it. Anyway, that's what faculty meetings are for. But most of the time I was just teaching.
What do you feel were some of the more important parts of your job?
More important? Well, I suppose by that you mean in the long run, and of course to me the most important thing is to help people learn what they want to know. But many of them actually wanted to be professional scientists themselves, so I think I've been a big help in getting them on that road.
What have some of your students gone on to do after leaving Marlboro?
Of course, a lot of them do something which has nothing whatever to do with what I was trying to teach them. But a few of them have gone on and done interesting work. I don't know if you know Bob Larrabee, Crutch, lives up the road up here. He was one of my students years ago, and he hasn't done anything whatever that related to what I was trying to teach him. I have a student now, I had a student once who studied physics with me, and he's now, let's see, what does he call himself? Anyway, he works for BP Solar. It's a solar energy company which is worldwide, and he is the, I guess he's sales manager or something for the eastern half of the U.S. But the important thing is that what he studied with me was things like solar energy, and he's now working in solar energy and trying to convince people that it's a good thing to do, which I have to agree with. I mean, just a couple of examples. So some of them are following in line with what they were studying with me, and some of them are not at all. Of course, over the years I've had dozens or hundreds of students, so I can't just say, I can't go down the list and tell you what they're all doing.
What are some of the parts of your job that you really like?
That I really like? Well, I just said that what I really like is helping people who really want to learn. If it's somebody who really wants to know, well, all right, these days it's about global warming. If there's somebody who really wants to know how global warming works and why we should worry about it, I help them to understand it. And that to me, that's the main thing, is to watch people sort of light up like little light bulbs when they see how things, when they finally really understand.
Are there parts of your job that you disliked?
Another hard question, because the job itself, there aren't very many things that I dislike. I mentioned a few minutes ago that when I was teaching full-time, there were things like faculty meetings, which I found boring. I couldn't say I disliked them, but I find them boring. These days, of course, I'm not really working full-time, and there just aren't many things that I don't like, except getting old. It's not part of my job, though.
What are some of the ways the job has changed over time?
Well, of course, the main one is that I was teaching full-time until I turned 65, and then I went into mostly retired. I'm still teaching one course, so that's one of the big changes, that instead of teaching full-time, I'm only teaching a little bit. But I don't think that's what you meant. The job of teaching physics at Marlboro College has changed a lot because physics has changed, and it's changed a lot because the students have changed and what they want to know. People sometimes ask me, why do I go on teaching at the same old college all these years? And I laugh and say, it isn't the same old college. It's a different college every year because we have different students. It's the same at your school. It's different from year to year because the people change. So that's the biggest reason things change. Of course, the faculty also change. Lots of the teachers come, stay for a while, and then go. Some of them retire, like I did, and really go away. We never see them again. New ones come in, so the whole college community just keeps changing.
What have you been doing since your retirement from the college besides your...
Well, good way to put it. I just finished saying that I'm still teaching one course, but that's only taking a little bit of my time. Margaret, whom you interviewed a few weeks ago, was brought up in the South, and she doesn't like snow. Well, she doesn't mind it in that case, but she never was really brought up on it, and she slips and falls down. And when people get old and fall down, they can break hips and things, and that's bad. So we decide we better go to Arizona every winter. So we go to Arizona for 3 months to take to spend what would be the worst of the winter there. It's worst by her standards anyway. I like snow, and I would stay here, but since I don't want her to fall down, we go to Arizona. So that's what we do a lot of the time. In Arizona, Margaret has bought, and I've helped her fix up a little house, so we have a place to stay there. And we have a lot of friends, so we just have a whole new life out there. It's a different set of friends is what it really is. But then around here, you can wonder, if I'm only teaching a little bit, what do I do the rest of the time? Well, in an old house, there's always plenty to do. You have to keep the things from falling apart. You have to keep the kitchen stove going. You have to bring in wood. You have to work in the garden. There's plenty of things to do.
What have been some of your interests outside of teaching?
Well, I mentioned that my favorite hobby is birds, and I've traveled quite a lot of different places just for the fun of watching birds. And I don't know whether you know this, but of course you might figure it out that birds are going to behave differently in totally different parts of the world. So, for example, I went to Antarctica, where it's nothing but rock and ice. And of course the birds are different there. The penguins are hopping around on the rocks and the ice and swimming in the water, but there are very few birds that fly. So anyway, it was kind of fun for me to see the whole different lifestyle is what it is. And I've been to the tropical jungles, and of course you've seen pictures of those with vines hanging down and monkeys climbing around, and the birds there all stay in the treetops. Not all, but a lot of them stay in the treetops and flit around, and it's totally different. So anyway, I've had a lot of fun watching birds. This old house, of course, is sort of a hobby. Because this place was a wreck when we found it. It had been abandoned for 10 years. Nobody lived here. And we decided we could save it. But it's been an awful lot of work. But it's been a labor of love, which means that, well, it's pretty nice now.
Is there anything else about your job or your life here in Marlboro that you'd like to mention but that I haven't asked you about?
I wasn't expecting that question. Oh, there must be lots of things to, you know, I could talk for hours about my life. Trying to think. Well, nothing comes to mind right off. That's the end of your questions, is it?
Yes. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, if I answered the things you wanted me to, have I spoken well enough? Have I told you what you wanted to know? Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you've been reading from a prepared list of questions here. Have you any other questions that just sort of come to you? Or the other folks here, they can ask questions too. I guess not.
Well, I have a question, sorry. Would you mind showing us where you like work? Like
Sorry?
study? Would you mind showing us your study?
Oh, yes.
Just so we could get
Hold
pictures
on,
of that?
hold on, hold
My
on.
bag's in the other
And I
room.
have my study, which is related to
This is
physics and birds. This is where I hang out. So I've got shelves and shelves of books. And
Wow.
Now this is where
It's gonna be
things
good
aren't
pictures.
old-fashioned. You got a computer here. I gotta get a close-up of that.
I've got a computer. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Margaret
No
has a
more
computer, too.
old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, computers become old-fashioned very quickly. But anyway, this is, you asked to see it, and here it is. And you see I put the bird feeder right out there so I can watch the chickadees go.
Wow. I can't see it. There it is.
Well, there's a nut
Oh,
hatch.
yeah.
There's a nut hatch.
Cool.
In my old house, we had a bird feeder right outside the window, and they would come right up to the window.
Yes.
Yeah, we have bird
Yes.
feeders outside our house.
Yeah, we have a hummingbird feeder.
We got a nice view too.
You don't have any hummingbirds there now, though, do you?
No.
You got a very nice
So they
view
eat
in
all
here.
the
You got a really nice
First
view.
of all, they eat up all the juice, so
Yeah.
that we have in it, so they're...
What's that stuff in that jar in the corner?
Well, that's an interesting thing. That was originally a battery jar back 100 years ago when they made batteries that looked like that. But they threw out the interior stuff, the lead plates and things, and it's just a nice jar. You can't really see very well, but I guess my daughter Megan put some moss and a couple little ferns and some partridge berry and other things in there. I guess it's kind of foggy now, so you can't see, but those things will grow almost forever if you just leave them alone, because you know they generate their own atmosphere. They recycle the water. Anyway, that's been there for a year and it's still growing happily.
I just noticed a little banjo on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. That's so
I
cute.
really
That's
like your,
absolutely so totally cute.
Yeah,
That's just the cutest little thing, and that one's like
little
a
banjo.
monster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I play the banjo, so
Oh, you play the banjo?
yeah.
Well,
I just started
so you play? Do you play the 5-string?
Yeah.
Okay, so that one you would know.
Yeah.
This is a ukulele banjo, so it played like a ukulele.
Yeah. My sister played one of those.
Oh yeah.
Those are so cute. Inky Durky. I gotta turn this off.